Woo! Good morning, everybody. First day of spring, and all I can say is brr. It is cold. March and November really hack me off because in November, I am still ready for, summer. I'm not the pumpkin spice girl. And it seems like we get a cold snap in November. March, I'm ready for tulips, hyacinths, crepe myrtles, you name it, and then we get a cold snap, and it just drives me nuts. Who did I miss in here? Good morning, Cousin Trixie. Pat K. Spilled Paint DIY. Cool name. Do you DIY? I'm assuming that you do. You know, I watch all those shows. That's my guilty pleasure. That's what OJ and I watch. Speaking of, OJ, get down, please. And the stuff that they say is so easy, I can never get it to look like that. Now, forewarning, I am having some Wi-Fi difficulties. If you have an issue hearing me or there's a lag, we will just have to try to figure it out. Good morning. Oh, we have a Facebook user in here. Yep, we are streaming on Facebook as well. Diva's got a meeting. OJ, come on. Let's stop. Before we get to it, and welcome everybody, if you check it out, we do have a new member. Look at that, Dispatch Crystal. Welcome to the family, Dispatch Crystal. You're going to like it here. We have 2 channels, and we have a ton of fun in our members' lives. I'll check the community tab because there is a ton of posts that are just for members. And thank you so much, Turtle Madness. Been a member for 2 months. So, members, if you... Stop it, OJ. If you take a second and you look, there are new badges. Yes, just in time for Easter. Switched it from St. Patrick's Day to Easter. A lot of people are asking, oh, I can't see it. You know, they're too small. So what I'll do is I will post them for the members, or as some people say, behind the paywall. That Brooke is always putting stuff behind the paywall. Well, what's the point in telling everybody about the badges when they're for the members? Anyway, so I will post, and so everybody can figure out what they have. Let's see. It looks like Joanne has a little chickadee. Hey Jude is an Easter basket. Kat and Pat are OJ with bunny ears. Walking Dead said I love them. Raven said cute. Lisa A said, who's Brooke? I want to know who that person is too. Good morning, Christine Alaska. Member for 18 months. Hashtag BBU. That should be a t-shirt. Well, before we get to me pimping out my low quality merchandise for regular quality prices, today is a very special day. Very special day. One of my best friends and someone that you all have come to befriend and love as well is our girl Jules. Today is her birthday. Let's take a second and tell our girl Jules happy birthday. And many more to you, Jules. Jules actually got her birthday present from me early. It actually got there on Sunday, and I was planning for it to get there today, so she'd have a birthday treat. But she got it early. Better. Well, they say better late than never, but I was really surprised that she got it so early. Amazon delivers on a Sunday to Jules's house. They must have known it was her birthday. Jules said, thank you all so much. Lily said, happy birthday, Jules. You share the day with my hubby. Wow. Now that is cool. All right. So what are we thinking about the case of Riley? It has got me all kinds of twisted up. This new video that came out and the text message they're talking about is giving me even stranger vibes than when we heard about the credit card. It is scary. It is sad. It is crazy. Kelly J says foul play. Foul play. It's looking that way to me. And the fact that they have scaled back the search, we've seen it in other cases where they say we're scaling back a search. It's because they are going a different direction with their investigation. Most recently, with the case of Sebastian Rogers. We've heard it in many other cases where they scale back the search and they say, we're going a different direction. I wouldn't be surprised if soon they're going to say something about foul play. I don't think it's going to be any minute now. Because let's face it, when you're in a tourist town, they don't want to scare tourists away, particularly if it's something random. And I don't believe for a second that his friends did anything to him. I think they might have been irresponsible. They went back in to party, maybe still hanging out with the girls. I don't know. As we know in the case of Kylie Rodney and Natalie Holloway, right off the bat, people were blaming the friends. I'm still on the fence about that with Kylie Rodney, but with Natalie Holloway, we know it was not her friends. We know that. And in this case, especially with everything that's coming out, it just seems to me that he came across the wrong people. Wrong neighborhood, wrong people. Spilled Paint, thank you for the super sticker. She said, I have 2 video ups. DIY all the way. Well, let's take a second and tell everybody, hola, good morning. And I see new names in here. Stick around. You're going to like us. This is a fun bunch of people. And then I'm going to bring up a very special guest. Look who is here. Finally, I always knew someday we would bump into each other and you would come on my panel. You are muted right now, but big round of applause for Insanely Confused.
Thank you. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. I am so glad you're here. Now, before we get to the new information that came out yesterday, you are local. Tell us what you know. Tell us what you think.
Okay, so I am from west of Nashville, but I work around that specific area. I have doctor visits in that area. I do know that area pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
If I was the parents after the credit card came available and found, or the debit card, I would definitely have some questions, more than I did the first time go around. People just don't disappear, not willingly, unless they have money and a yacht somewhere in Cuba.
Yep.
I mean, I just, between this case and the Sebastian case, and now this morning we've got an 18-year-old little Catherine that I just got alerted. I think I shared it on your page.
Mm-hmm.
She's missing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know. There seems to be something new coming out, and I'm glad. That's good. That's good. I didn't want to interrupt Mr. Chris yesterday when he was on your show because he was full of information, and I believe that he's lit some fire. But sadly, Riley's case is not the only missing persons case in this area, in Nashville metropolitan Davidson County. I think as of, oh goodness,
Now,
there's,
we have a little bit of a connection problem. You sound a little robot-y.
okay, I'm on my phone. Can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear Insanely Confused okay? It just sounds a little robot-y sometimes, and you're cutting out a little bit.
Okay, how about now?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Sadly, Riley's case is not the only missing persons case in Nashville. And so they are busy. There's 18 to 20 active missing persons, which was a year ago. So you figure within a year, and there's somebody always missing. Now, I do want to say that the body that was found, of course, everybody probably knows this, but I've been getting messages. The body that was found, I believe it was yesterday morning, was not Raleigh. It had no relations of him. It was believed to be an Hispanic male that washed up. He had a tattoo on his thigh. So that's all they know. But people drowned in the Cumberland River all the time. That's sadly.
They also brought a woman out, and they haven't identified her. They're just calling her Jane Doe, and they've put out a description of her.
Correct. I saw that on the TV. The Cumberland River is it's not a small river. It's 688 miles long. And it's anywhere from 90 to 400 feet deep in certain spots. And I've been through, I drowned in, my nephew drowned in the Tennessee River, which is about and bodies don't float to the top, especially if they've been weighed down. It took them 14 days to find my nephew. He was ledged under a bolt, or their boat had capsized. I think that's how you say it. And it took them 14 days to find and locate his body. And when the divers came up, they told us that there was fish big enough down there that they could swim in their mouth. Catfish. And in the Cumberland River in particularly, years ago, there was an individual that had drowned. And when the divers went down in a certain area of it, I'm not familiar with what part of the Cumberland River, but they said that there was fishes so big that Volkswagens could swim in their mouths.
Goodness.
So, not that that has anything to do with it. I'm just saying this is not a small body of water.
No.
Of course, it's sad. We were just over in that area. We went to Top Golf, which is a restaurant with a golfing area that you can have drinks and food and golf, And of course, you can look across the Jefferson Street Bridge where he was last pinged at. And as we walked around downtown, I don't interfere with the search unless they call for an active volunteer search. I don't feel the need to go, especially in that area where he was at. Why on earth? Personally, Brooks, I think he got turned around when he come out of Luke's right there at Broadway. All he would have had to have done was instead of going down the way that he went on the first camera where he was all staggering and running into the brick wall, his motel, the Tempo Motel, would have been in the opposite direction had he been trying to walk back to the hotel. And it's about a 10 to 12 minute walk. I guess if you're intoxicated, it could take you a little longer. But all down through there, all of those streets, Gay Street, James Robertson Parkway, First Street, there is cameras everywhere. You've got, Hughes and Coleman law offices right there. They've got cameras. You've got the Country Music Hall of Fame. It's right there. You've got the Johnny Cash Museum, Miranda Lambert's restaurant. If he'd have walked on down a block or two, he'd have been in front of News Channel 5 news station. But for the video there's no more camera footage. That's what I don't understand. Did he get in the car with somebody that didn't have good intentions? maybe.
Well, new footage has come out overnight, and he actually came across a police officer. He did not sound intoxicated at all. As we know, before they went to go to hit Broadway, or whether they went to Luke's first or not, I don't know. That has not been established. He FaceTimed with his mother. She did not see anything wrong with him. Nothing. No
I
slurred
saw that.
speech, no thick tongue. When he came across a police officer in the new video, um,
He didn't sound intoxicated.
no, and it's just a short clip, so I can't really judge too much from that. But if the officer didn't pick it up, then why would I? Then there was a text. I'm not exactly sure who it's to. And he said, I'm LOPS. So kids abbreviate, well, adults abbreviate, lots of acronyms. Was he trying to say, I'm lost? Well, if he's lost, he's a smart guy. You know, you can't get the degree he's getting unless, you know, you're a smart dude.
Exactly.
So he was lost. He came across a police officer. He has his phone. It's a very highly populated area. Lots of people were out. So what is going on?
I want to think that maybe he said good loopy. Maybe he was trying to say loopy.
Loopy. Someone said the acronym also means low on power.
Low on power. I don't know I'm old. I don't know all the slang terms.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wish they would find him. But I think since they've scaled it back, again, the card has me, it was dumbfounded because that area was supposed to have already been searched by the Metro Police Department. Now, how are two individuals, same as you and I, walk along that area and just look down? Now, did it wash up? The writing on the back of the card didn't appear water damage. Now, I didn't get a good look at it. From what was on the internet and what I watched on Nick Barris's last night. Did it wash up? Where did his billfold go? Did somebody try to use it and couldn't? As password protective and threw it down after the fact. But now that is how we figured out where my nephew was. A stocking cap was washed up 4 miles down the river bank. A pack of Marlboro cigarettes had washed up. Now I'm talking about my own personal experience, not this case. There was coveralls because it was wintertime when they were out on the boat, and apparently they had tried to strip down, to get some of the weight off of them so that they could swim. Coveralls had washed up. Things had washed up a week to 2 weeks prior to them ever locating his body. So I don't know if you could call it a good sign. I know the family, and I hope none of them are listening because I would hate to be, I would stay off of social media if this was me. But social media is helping keep this out there because I'm telling you that if something don't come quick, he's going to be just another number in Davidson Metropolitan County of a missing person.
You better believe it, because if you want to start a fire, you get a match. And they're keeping them hopping. They're holding them accountable. I'm not saying that Nashville PD does a bad job. They're lazy, anything like that. But for this to have been on the national news last night, as you said, with other people missing right in that area, that means they're really staying on it. Wist said, LOPS means low on power. Sorry. Another, Joy looked it up, and it's kind of a slang for, you're messed up. Maybe having too much to drink or something.
Loopy loppy, yeah.
It could have been, I would say a typo and autocorrect didn't pick it up. I'm lost, but if he's lost, he's got the phone. Papaco, thank you. The family spokesman, Chris, who was on our show yesterday, said the card was very clean and not dirty at all.
Yeah.
So I have questions about that as well. Let's look at the footage that came out yesterday where he comes across the police officer. Again, I'm having a little bit of Wi-Fi lag, so please bear with me.
There's new evidence in the mysterious disappearance of a college student who went missing 10 days ago. during a fraternity trip to Nashville. Newly released body cam video shows him speaking with a police officer on the night he vanished. CBS's Errol Barnett has the new developments.
New tonight, police in Nashville releasing this body cam video showing an officer's brief encounter with 22-year-old college student Riley Strain.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's just...
Okay, let's watch this again. He comes across a police officer. How are you doing? Good, normal pleasantries. It's not what we saw before. And this is a short time after.
College student Riley Strain.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's just minutes after Strain had been kicked out of a downtown...
Okay, so safe to say if he was in some sort of distress, had been stabbed, had been robbed, he would have alerted the police officer. And this is after we saw him fall and stumble. Had an amazing comment from Jenny, and she said, the fact that he fell and hit his head and it's on camera, why has this not been escalated to missing and endangered? He could have a serious head injury. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there's construction all around up through there. I mean, it's always construction around this area. That area, this area, the area he was in. Have they even checked hospitals? I mean, you might not think he might have walked and checked himself into a hospital if somebody took his billfold, if he's like he don't have any identification on him. I'm with her. Why have they not? I mean, unless they know more than what they're showing us, I'm sure they know more than what we're being told. I'm surprised that body cam video didn't come out a week ago.
I think, not to interrupt you, I think with the parents pressing the detectives yesterday and demanding the meeting where they wanted to see everything they had, that's when they put the body cam out. Now, I watched a little bit of Plunder early this morning, like 2 a.m, when OJ was trying to wake me up. And she said, this is just her opinion, she said she can see what direction it's going by what they're releasing and what's going on. I must be very dense because I can't figure it out for nothing.
Well, he's of age, and like I said, sadly, he's not the only one of age missing. I want to say, maybe he, like I said, this place is full of construction. And I want to think maybe he climbed over in one of these construction dumpsters for some sleep. And, these people, I mean, they're building condos. I mean, there's, man don't own land anymore, and they've been empty 2 or 3 times by now. And like I said, I hope the family's not listening, but I mean, that's a possibility. Did he climb over in a dumpster thinking, for just a couple of naps, minutes naps or whatever, being intoxicated? 2 hours seems like 30 minutes, and accidentally got dumped. If he fell into, my thing is, and I want to go back to what Chris said yesterday, the homeless, his card was found over there and he was pinged over there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Back in 2002, they put a fence up around that homeless camp to kind of keep them contained. But the last thing anybody wants to do is bother the homeless. They don't want to be bothered. They want to stay to themselves. They don't want cops coming up to them, talking to them, because they're on board time themselves. They're not supposed to be there, and they don't want to have to look for a new location to go to. They're very private people, and with the amount of individuals that's been over interrupting their space, they've cleared out. They might be on the other side of Nashville now. So therefore, you're not going to get any information. To me, that was the wrong thing to do. It would be one thing for maybe 1 or 2 people to go up there, because the cops, the police, they know, the situation. But to have somebody like myself, or do you go up there and start questioning them, it scared them, and they got ghost.
Mhm.
They could be on the other side and they're not going to get anything. If there was something, somebody saw something, they're not going to get it now.
And I
For the
mean, they
simple fact
have
that,
things that they're trying to protect themselves. Not everything in their tent they paid for with their own hard-earned money. So they don't want to be bothered. Hell, that one I couldn't believe said he wanted them to bring a warrant. I'm like, are you kidding me? It is public. No one is going to respect your tent city. It's public property. Now, Cat's Life said on the new cam video, you can hear Riley stomp his feet as he's walking by the cop. But as soon as the cop turns around, you can't hear his footsteps anymore. I want to hear this again. Hang on.
Old college student Riley Strain.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's just minutes after
Okay. I mean, it does stop, but it could just be the way it's edited. I don't know.
I didn't hear anything.
No, it does stop. Prissy Missy said, I am more concerned about a possible head injury than the alcohol. Me too.
Oh yeah, he hit his head hard.
Uh-huh.
And the hotel that they were staying in was the Temple Hotel. And like I said, it was about a 10 to 12 minute walk from Luke's in the opposite direction. But it was also under construction. And I don't know if he got confused. And well, of course he got confused, but because he didn't know the area.
Mhm.
And I get turned around. I'm from here and I get turned around. I'm supposed to be in this parking garage and I'll be in the total opposite direction parking, garage. It's just that big of a city and it's easy to do. But when he hit his head, did he hit it on that pole or did he hit it on the ground? Does anybody know? Because there was a pole there and it was like when he took off running.
Looked to me like he hit the pole and then basically bounced to the ground. Let's look at this. Then I'm going to look at the full video of the body cam.
after Strain had been kicked out of a downtown Nashville bar. Surveillance video from that night shows Strain stumbling and falling down. That was 10 days ago. He hasn't been seen since. His parents desperate for answers.
This is a very trying time, emotional. It's a roller coaster.
Over the weekend, another clue, a bank card found on the embankment of the Cumberland River, now the focus of a massive search. Strain, a senior at the University of Missouri, was in Nashville with several fraternity brothers visiting local bars. He was asked to leave this bar, owned by country music singer Luke Bryan. The bar says it serves Strain 1 drink and 2 waters. Luke Bryan posting on social media, "This is scary," praying for his safe return. Friends say Strain told them he would head back to the group's hotel. He wasn't reported missing until the following afternoon.
All of our hearts are out there and we're trying to find him. We're doing the best we can.
Now, Tennessee's Alcoholic Beverage Commission is investigating the possibility that Strain may have been overserved there at Luke Bryan's bar. But Nora, we should be clear at this stage, police have said they do not yet suspect foul play.
Well, not yet, but it could be coming. And a lot of comments after yesterday's show and Friday's show, people saying, look, they are not going to come out of the gate saying foul play when March Madness is coming up. The SEC tournament was over the weekend. They never want to detour tourists. Think about the movie Jaws. Don't close the beaches. Don't close the beaches. Summer Golden, beautiful picture. Thank you for the super sticker. Said, my comments are split into 3s in chat because they were too large for any SC option. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Thank you for the comments. And we have a lot of gifted memberships coming through. Joy, birthday girl Jules. I guess she's really wanting a spanking today. And our friend Pat. Got to play the music. Why is the music not playing? Okay, let's see if we can get a better look at this new police video.
Much for joining us as we continue on here on Live Now from Fox. We do want to give you a brief minor update out of Nashville on the search that continues for the college student that went missing, Riley Strain. The Nashville police releasing to some body cam footage of a brief exchange. Let's listen into this here on Live Now from Fox. You can see the officer and Riley Strain exchange just a brief hello here as the officer was kind of investigating a potential burglary with a car. Let's just listen into this here on Live Now from Fox.
Could the burglary be connected to Riley's disappearance in any way?
I don't believe so. That's normal here. I mean, that's normal. I mean, that's, you don't leave your car unlocked. And your best bet's to pay for your parking. That way you do have cops and security guards watching them at all times. But there had been a string of car burglaries. Unless he got in a car with somebody that had stole a car. That's the only other thing.
If he saw something he shouldn't have seen, and they had to get rid of the person that said they were going to say something. I don't know. Because even though some people will say it's not a big deal, I'm saying that the credit card that was left on the bank of the Cumberland River,
a big deal,
which is wiped friggin' clean, is huge.
Oh yeah, that's the main key to me. You know, if somebody got it and tried to use it and you needed a pen and just threw it down afterwards, you know, can they not get fingerprints from that? I at first thought maybe it had washed up, you know, like I said, washed up, because the water is significantly lower than what it was on when he, you know, the day that he, March 8th, I believe, when he, you know, if he did go into the river. But if he come in contact with the rough side of the homeless over there and he didn't do what they said or whatever, they know this area, and there would be nothing for them to weigh him down and throw him in there. And he's not going to surface for a little while. You know, if they took all of his cash and didn't need the card for the, you know, thinking that they would get caught with it or wherever and threw it down, I just don't know why. If that area was searched the first 2 or 3 days that it was supposed to have been searched, it was laying right there on those rocks. How did those ladies find it just like that when you have a number of officers that were down there searching like that next day?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was put there after if it didn't wash up, which it didn't appear, the ink didn't appear to be waterlogged or anything of that nature. I think it was put there. I think it was dropped, threw down after the fact.
And I mean, if you don't want to get caught, you're real crazy putting it in plain sight. Because like you said, it's not like that area hadn't been combed over many times. It's his card. Obviously, at many, many times, he has had it in his hand. How did the dogs not scent it?
That's the whole thing. I've got a whole paragraph of if I was his mother and father, this right here would be when I would be down at the police station saying, okay, why? Not saying that the police are not doing everything they can. I believe that they've kind of lit the fire. You know, they don't want him to be just another missing person in Nashville. And the only way to keep it from not happening is to keep posting it on social media. Individuals such as yourself through YouTube. I don't have TikTok, but apparently it's posted on TikTok, Instagram. Our local news station at every broadcast has it on repeatedly, nonstop. You know, they didn't do this with the Summer Wells. We never saw Summer Wells except for the first couple of weeks that she disappeared, and then it was gone. I had to come to YouTube to get any updates. The same thing with Sebastian. I mean, they've got a billboard with Sebastian's picture on it, and I believe that they have one with Riley's on it. I think, I'm not sure. I might be misspoken. I know they do Sebastian, but why not get a billboard? I know those aren't cheap, but for those things go way up in the air and they flash. I mean, you can see them across the interstate. And if he did, there's all kinds of trains that stop and park. There's train tracks all around here. Did he get in one of the train carts that was parked to go get some sleep and never, hasn't been seen, and just maybe he's in New York now? I don't know. I just wished I did.
And then they, and there are billboards around there. I've seen pictures of them. I had one in my thumbnail. And then there's the possibility that there's something else going on in his life and he wanted to get away. I don't know. But I can't get past the homeless community knowing so much, then dispersing, and his credit card being found on the rocks. Because let's face it, it's almost impossible to track cash unless you're a police officer in a Denzel Washington movie. Credit cards can be tracked real fast. Burglars don't want that. They want the cash. They want something they can sell.
Right. Well, even his wallet, that Michael Kors wallet that he had, that would have brought $20 to somebody that has nothing, So, that would be something that they would be looking into. The shirt, of course, now that was an odd looking shirt. It put me in the remind, and I don't know if you're my age, but the Cosby Show, when Denise was trying to make Theo that shirt, and it come out looking almost like that, all checkered up, and one sleeve was different than the other. You don't find those shirts often.
So it's like we're looking for somebody with blue jeans and a white shirt on, button down. He had on a very distinctive looking shirt. Exactly.
Yep.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right, that was basically the entirety of it as the Metro Police have released that body cam footage showing a brief encounter.
I hate when they say that's basically the entirety. I want the whole damn thing.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right, that was basically the entirety of it as the Metro Police have released that body cam footage showing a brief encounter between an officer and the college student the night he disappeared. Police, they released it today on Monday, 10 days after the 22-year-old vanished after leaving a downtown bar in Nashville. The exchange happened on Gay Street, south of Woodland Street Bridge. Of course, in the video, Strain is seen on the sidewalk walking past an officer. Just a very, very brief exchange. But of course, this is what we're following here very closely on Live Now from Fox. Any detail that they were holding on to. We're also getting some information from Metro Nashville Police saying that no evidence of foul play has surfaced as work continues to locate Riley Strain. On Sunday, Riley's parents met with some of the detective team and received a full briefing on the work being done. They're also shown available video. They're also...
That's called fire.
Yes, that's what it's called. But that area right there, every traffic stop has a camera on it because they want to make sure that you stop or they're going to send you a ticket in the mail. Every building around there has camera. Why is there no more camera footage of him going north up through Gay Street? Because I
have a feeling there is a lot of camera footage, but they're not going to release it. But I did see a clip from this morning. One of your local stations says that the police want more and more and more footage because, as you said, there's cameras everywhere. Now, I want to listen to what this officer said to him again. Jen Bug had a really important question. Because, I mean, you know as well as I do, Insanely Confused, in these cases, they just release a little bit. It's always the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly.
Good.
All right, that was basically the entirety of it as the Metro Police have released that body.
you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right, that was basically the entirety of it as the Metro Police have released that body cam footage showing.
Okay, he just said, "How are you doing, sir?" And he said, "Good."
He didn't sound intoxicated to me. I mean,
No.
from what I can tell from that little clip.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I got
The thing is, if he's in distress, been stabbed, being chased by somebody, can't find the hotel, he's right there with an officer. Now, I know that a lot of kids have this idea in their head that police are bad, bad. Cops are bad. He's really not from that type of family. He respects law enforcement. If there
exactly.
was an issue, he would have said something. So what is going on? So what happened? We saw him fall down, hit his head on the pole. We saw him kind of crunched over from what I don't know. And then he comes across this police officer, and again, he's going the wrong direction.
Well, he's already walked from Broadway. That right there is North Gay Street. He's already been walking at least 6 to 7 minutes because he's at least 3 blocks from Broadway right there. And first of all, I don't know why, I would like to know why he got kicked out of Luke's, because it is a family friendly establishment. I mean, kids can go in there.
And Chris said they know, but he didn't want to get into it yesterday. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, the only way, I mean, if he was up there staggering, if he was acting like he was acting, but you don't get that way with 2 bottles of water and 1 beer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're a saint that never drank a drop in your life. 1 beer's not going to make you get like that. Nashville's got good beer, but it's nothing like that. And kids can go, until 8:30 on the first and second floor. The only place that you have to be 21 and over is on the very top. Like I said, unless he got in there and was falling around or whatever, is it a possibility that somebody put something in his drink? Maybe, and I don't want to blame his friends, but thank God my son, who's 26 years old, didn't have friends that cared for him like that. Because you walk him down and almost out the door, knowing how intoxicated he is, but then you decide to back up and go party. I'm sorry, that's just wrong. And I know they're kids. They wanted to finish getting their buzz on, and they probably had girls up there, and they were anticipating on a good night. You don't let somebody that don't know a city. It would be different, I could say, if they were at their hometown club, if they were at their own hometown where he knew the streets, he knew the people, he knew the environment. But you don't let somebody young like that that's had too much to drink loose in a town that they don't know any people, in my opinion. Now, everybody's probably going to disagree with me. I just don't. I'm glad my son didn't have friends that would allow him to. Of course, he's grown. They couldn't stop him,
Well, and he's bigger than them. And if he says, "I'm just going to go to the hotel," it's kind of like brother's keeper. They're like, "Oh, okay. Is it okay if I go back in and finish hanging out with this girl and, finish my drink or whatever?" And also, I mean, not just college kids, but adults as well. If they're going to go and, hit the town, they will have what I call a pregame. And there's also the possibility that when he came across the officer, he straightened it up and, avoided eye contact and everything because he was afraid of getting arrested for a public intox.
Right. And he would have. It don't happen a whole lot, but with him being young like that, and if an officer had saw him, and that's surprising too, because there's cops all over Broadway, every corner you look. And that's surprising that while he was fumbling down the side of the building, going in the wrong direction from the hotel, why nobody didn't stop and say, "Hey kid, are you okay?" Because I've been down in that area before, and people do stop and check on you. Nobody. It was like ghost town right there.
Real Rock and Robin said, look at the video. She zoomed in on the arm, and it appears he has the Apple Watch on. It was a short sleeve shirt, kind of like what Charlie Sheen used to wear in 2.5 Men, or what Garth used to wear in the early 90s. So let's get to the text. Still want to know what the text means.
I do too. That's confusing me.
Trail print from what he was walking, along with a video footprint to put things together, to look for people following, extra vehicles in the same frame, etc. But right now, that is the last video or voice that we have of Riley.
Nashville police today, Chris, again said no indication of foul play. And that's the way, it seems they're being careful the way they word it, but they say no indication of foul play. What do you make of this? I mean, what are your thoughts at this point?
It's, I don't play poker well. It's very frustrating. His debit card was found in an area that we have been, everybody, hundreds of people have been in that area for 8 days. It's in an area that, you know, you think we would have seen something by.
Not to interrupt Chris, we will go back to that. But News Daddy, it looks like he got his hair did. It's not as shiny gray as it used to be. Had a little bit of honey blonde put in it. Anyone notice that? Did he do that for Jules' birthday? Yeah. Did he do that for Jules' birthday? Now, she likes the shiny gray better. Looks like I'm going to have to write a letter. Don't be messing up Jules' birthday. She loves her News Daddy.
What are your thoughts at this point?
It's, I don't play poker well. It's very frustrating. His debit card was found in an area that we have been, everybody, hundreds of people have been in that area for 8 days. It's in an area that, you know, you think we would have seen something by now. We've had people in the water. We've had people on land. We've had people volunteer helicopters. You know, it just amazes us that it just happened to happen when it did, and we thank God it did, and those young ladies found it. They have been very, very open in helping us with this investigation. But, yeah, we have a lot of questions. Every piece of the puzzle we've been receiving, it leads us down 100 more questions. You know, we're no closer to finding Riley. We've asked for the TBI to be involved. I've even reached out to the FBI, Homeland Security. You know, it's nothing. I'm not trying to take a dig at what Metro Nashville's doing. I know they're doing with what they can. They're probably short-staffed, but more eyes, more people invested in this. We're 8-9 days in. And how does a 6'5", 6'6", blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy disappear? I mean, he literally disappeared.
Yeah,
There's no, I understand. No.
Okay, let's look at the timeline. Phone last ping near the James Robertson Parkway and Gay Street at 9:55. We know he was told to leave Luke Bryant's bar, according to the people that are at the bar, at 9:35 p.m. Okay, so now here we are. 9:55. Okay, yeah, 9:35. He's kicked out of Luke's 32 Bridge. 9:45. He's seen stumbling on Church Street and 3rd Avenue. 9:47. Seen crossing 1st Avenue North to Gay Street. 9:55. Phones last ping near the James Robertson Parkway and Gay Street. March 17th is when they found his bank card. What do you think about this path of plan that he took?
He was going in the wrong direction. Well, everybody knows that. But from 9:35 to the 10 minutes, okay, that timeline walk that is pretty good, because by the time you get from Luke's to the time that you get to Church Street, which would have been right there. Now, he wasn't coming out of Luke's. Where they saw him stumbling up against that wall, that's Church Street. He had done crossed over to Church Street at that time, but he was still going in the wrong direction for his motel. Was he? I don't know where he thought he was going. I don't know. But all the buildings looked the same. To somebody that's not from around here, all the buildings look the same. Even his hotel was under construction. And so all of that area down through there has construction trucks. It has cones, the buildings are, they all look the same to somebody that's not from here. So maybe he thought that he was going in the right direction. I wonder, did he get in the car with somebody thinking maybe, hey, I'm lost. Can you get me back to the hotel? I've got turned around. And then they had no intentions of doing that.
I'm probably saying this name wrong. Mespinoza said, I wonder if he walked down closer to the river to hide from the cop and got caught up with something there. Not sure if my direction is off. I wondered about that too, if it didn't freak him out, the cop asking how he was doing, afraid with the stumbling and everything, he would get in trouble for a public intox.
You kind of have to know where you're going to actually go to the river. Okay. If it was dark and I was walking down Gay Street and going down James Robertson and crossing over to First down to the Cumberland, I wouldn't be able to find the river because you have to cross railroad tracks. And unless you know exactly how to get down over where the home, because, they're secluded. They don't want them like noticeable by society. So you kind of have to actually stumble upon them. Bad luck if he did. That's just all I can say because there's no doubt in my mind he didn't know where he was going.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that cop could have spooked him, and because, I've sobered up before. We've been in a roadblock and coming back from a New Year's party or something and getting a roadblock. Hey, I might be tipsy and then just, okay, yes, sir, officer, no, sir, officer, yes, sir, or just sit over there like a statue and don't say anything, let my husband do all the talking. You do sober up with the fear of going to jail.
Well, and the fresh air and, walking around, he bonked his head. I can't make sense of this because he's 22 years old. He's smart. He's fit. Hell, he's almost 7 foot tall. That's insane. And
if we could get some of those, Brooks, if we could get if we could identify those vehicles like Chris said yesterday, mm-hmm. and maybe their front camera on their car, their dash cams, to point, like I said, it's just like he vanishes from what we know. Now, like I said, with all the cameras that's down in that area, there's bound to be more footage that they've not released yet for whatever reason. But there was 2 cars that passed him when he crossed over to Gay Street that appeared to slow down. That could be because the footage was slowed down, but to me, it looked like they kind of braked and slowed down. Now, there is a red light right there where there's 2 of them.
Now, hang on. There's a red light right there. Well, there's cameras on there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So people that keep talking about the black car had a long conversation with someone that is involved with the case. I'm not going to say it's Chris. And they said, there's lots of black cars in these stills, and they're all different. They might look like the same body type, the same style, but they are different. So nobody was following him.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that. What I'm thinking more of is if, he went across the street or something and realized that he was lost at one point. Because like I said, the footage stops right there from what we know. And I had a conversation with a lady and I'm thinking, okay, well, if he was that belligerent or whatever happened, we know that when he crossed over to Church Street, he was under the influence of something. And he was holding his stomach either like somebody had punched him in the stomach or like he was about to throw up. Maybe his card got gone at the restaurant. And then when this came out on the news and, somebody made their way to throw it down, that card was put there after the fact that like he said, there was hundreds of people down there. This wasn't your typical, they had the tape up and didn't want anybody searching the area. They didn't want it was a free for all. Anybody could walk down there and start looking. That part I don't understand, because in any missing persons case, they always tell you, do not disturb. You might mess up the evidence. Even when we helped search for little Joe Clyde Daniels, they had grid searches. They loaded us up on a bus. They told us what to do, what to touch. Well, you don't touch anything, but what, how to walk, stay beside each other, stay in this path. If you see something, you call your captain, the one that's leading the team. They didn't do that in this one. They didn't do that in the Summer Wells case. We begged them to let us go search for Summer Wells on horseback. They would not let us do it. Why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Oh, I think what it came down to is once the floodgates are open, you can't stop the masses. Do they want to sit there and take their time, dealing with searchers, or do they want to get to what's going on, especially with it being so highly publicized? Can you imagine? The TBI is not involved. FBI hasn't been invited in. I don't know why Chris keeps talking about Homeland Security. Obviously, he knows more than me. But, and then to say, oh, we stopped people from searching. That'd be a very, very bad look. Angel P gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. What am I going to do with you girls today?
Well, now the DA has.
And like you were saying before I hit the music, I apologize. The DA has to invite the TBI in. Why
okay.
they not do? They invited the TBI in for Sebastian. Why not for Riley?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And and in my opinion, I don't understand why they've not ruled Sebastian a foul play. Kids just don't vanish. They just don't vanish. I mean, his little case, and I know we're not talking about his case right now, but his case, it makes me think of the girls that was held captive, the Cleveland captive, where Amanda and they were all held in his basement for like 10 years, them girls.
Mm-hmm.
Or the little boy in the basement. To me, I would be wanting search warrants for everybody in that area's home. Of course, I know you can't do that, but it just, because those houses where he's at, they're close. They're close. Anybody can open up their back door and get him and chain him up down in the basement or something, especially if, just because you live in a nice house don't mean you're evil and not cruel.
Well, and the thing is, him being 6'7", 22, a very fit man, and let's face it, police treat a missing man different than a missing woman. If it was a woman that was told to leave Luke Bryan's bar and she was stumbling around and hit her head, they would have, and the 911 call came in at 1:46 p.m. the next day, it would have been all hands on deck. She could have been trafficked. She could be currently being AR'd, the whole 9 yards. But a 22-year-old college dude, they don't treat men disappearances the same way as women.
Well, and Nashville's, full of 22-year-old men that go to these bars, and especially on a Friday or Saturday night. And, all those people, you see people walking right beside him when they cross over Gay Street. Mm-hmm. And nobody even acknowledges that he's stumbling. Nobody, everybody's going on about their own business, trying to make it to the, where they have their car parked so they don't get an extra charge for parking, so, more than what it was supposed to. They didn't even, and I can't say that I would, because I've been to Luke's and I've been down Broadway, we go, not all the time, but I've been, and it's nothing to come out and see people staggering. And you might even see them land on the sidewalk. Usually an officer or security guard or somebody will make them get up, try to keep your drunkenness classy. But, nobody even acknowledged that he was staggering. Nobody even acknowledged he was holding his stomach. Nobody even acknowledged that. And that's what I'm saying. I don't get it.
Nobody called 911. But as well as I do, I've been to Nashville several times. Everyone's just trying to get back to where they need to go, whether it's the next bar, the hotel. It is not unusual to see people being loud and rowdy, stumbling, and it's a double-edged sword. You don't want to confront an intoxicated big old dude.
No, you don't. Especially in that area, you know, people don't
I'm not
fight
saying
anymore.
that Riley is an aggressive person. I'm not saying that he would be violent towards anyone, but it's kind of a better, just keep yourself safe as well.
Exactly. And like I said, people don't fight, fist fight anymore. People kill people. And I didn't mean to say that on the show. I hope you don't get in trouble for that. But, people's not nice anymore. People have no respect for life. And it's getting worse. Sadly, it's getting worse.
Well, and this is not the first time this has happened, not just in Nashville, but in other cities.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't Chelsea, Oklahoma, where everybody knows everybody. This is a tourist spot. It happens in Branson. It happens in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. It happened over the weekend. People celebrating St. Patrick's Day in Chicago. It happens in Vegas minute by minute. The difference here is the mystery. What could have happened to him?
I just got my mind.
I was going to say, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Like you said, sir, it doesn't add up, which is one of the reasons I think so many people are paying such close attention to the case. But you make a good point. I mean, we're not trying to make a dig at police here, but when you hear that it's TikTokers who are out there, volunteers who find his bank card on the riverbank now a week later, and not police early on, I mean, is that concerning to you and the family?
It is. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, very close friend of the family, but they are very concerned on what's actually going on right now. We thank the Lord. It's ironic that they are literally trying to ban TikTok right now, and they're literally the only ones that has provided us a solid lead 8-9 days after this has started. So there is bad sides to all type of internet. I was actually on the phone trying with another TikToker when the young ladies found that, had them send me a picture of it. I told them what bank he was with, etc. Unfortunately, we have been warned of the bad side of this, how people will want attention. They'll print fake plastic cards of people's identification, throw them in locations of crimes.
We've seen it before. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So before I rallied the troops, the mom and dad, I did have them dial 911. I had them send me pictures of it, and instantly knew, wow, we have our first clue. And it was amazing. We were so happy, and I told him, and you saw it in an interview, they were extremely nervous. I told him, I said, you're about to have 100 people instantly come to that spot because they were live. And I said, I need you to make sure nobody comes within 10, 20 feet of where you found that card, because we can't take a risk of jeopardizing, a potential crime scene. They did not label it at that yet.
That was smart.
But yeah, just and they were nervous, and they go, okay, and it was awesome. But we're very concerned. I wish we had more people looking in this, invested in it. We just want Riley home. He's a great kid. He has a lot going for him. He was 2 months out from living the American dream and starting, graduating college and being an investment career that he wanted to be in. Just how does somebody like that just disappear, especially when there's an officer within a half mile, quarter mile of that area looking for suspects and smash and grabs? You think if there would have been an altercation, which there has been some stories and unverified, he would have heard that because he's listening for, things going on with automobiles. There's the video of it right
course. There. Yeah, you'd think, like you said, the video, that the officer was so close, which just adds to the mystery. I want to ask you real quick, Chris, do you know much about Riley's final communications? Have you had any access to his text messages or who he was talking to last?
We did. People, we've been trying to explain how much of a family-oriented Riley was. Riley actually talked to his mom an hour and a half, 2 hours before this incident. He's one of those kids that still loves his family just like ours did. That's why we love this kid. He was seeing a young lady that was a recently new relationship, and she is literally the last person that we know that had any communication with Riley from the family. She texted him to see how he was doing, if he was having fun. He sent kind of a scripted text back to her saying good lobs, slops, or something like that. She said she even had to Google it. She didn't understand what that slang was. She thought maybe it was something new they picked up in Nashville. It was not new slang.
Wait, say that again.
Riley
What was it? I missed it. What did he text? Can you say it again? I didn't
He
understand.
actually, he texted her back. Instead of saying good time, he said good lots, like
Good lops. Okay, good lops. That's what he texted back to the girlfriend. There is also a lot of speculation that Riley could be homosexual. And when he left, it was to go somewhere where he could meet a man. But we
I
don't know.
haven't heard that.
But we don't know. Of course, that's just Facebook chatter. Don't care. And they keep, honing in on the TikTok community helping so much. TikTok is so big with with a ton of people, don't get me wrong, but especially with the 20-something crowds, because Facebook's a dinosaur to them. They grew up with Facebook.
Right.
All right?
Yep.
Let me tell you how stupid I am. When I first decided to hop into the Facebook world, I filled that sucker out like it was a Visa credit card.
Did too. I did too.
Oh, they want my phone number. Oh, my address. Oh, my birthday. Oh, year. I mean, you name it. Kids nowadays are like, you want my name? For what?
Yep.
So good lops. Now, I put good lops in my phone and it auto-corrected to lost. But I don't know.
See, mine went to, I put good, and then I put comma, like good, and then I put it in it put in like loose.
Okay, and then I googled the acronyms. It can also mean low on power. Sorry. There's other things it means.
Well, did he have his phone or just his Apple Watch with him, or did he have both? I can't remember. I knew he had his watch on, but have they found his phone?
No, have not found the phone. Last I heard, as of this morning, they're still waiting to get things back from Apple. Apple is the slowest in every one of these cases. I don't care who it is, how high profile the case, do not care. They are always the last one to return the requested information. Evelyn said in UK, we do LOBs, low on battery, sorry. Low on power, Lisa said. Oh, powder. Low on power is what a lot of people are saying. So they're going to have to, let's look at that again.
slops or something like that. She said she even had to Google it. She didn't understand what that slang was. She thought maybe it was something new they picked up in Nashville. It was not new slang.
Wait, say that again.
Riley
What was it? I missed it. What did he text? Can you say it again? I didn't understand.
He actually, he texted her back. Instead of saying good time, he said good lots, like LOPS.
Good lots.
And which we were all confused. We're like, wow, what is that? And that just kind of shows the state of mind that he was in at that time. This is all within a 10-minute window of what you just seen where he went missing.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to.
It could mean he could have tried to say good LOL and it, LOLS, like, laugh out loud. Because mine will do that sometimes. If I put LOL, it'll autocorrect it to LOPS.
Well, and Erica Hartman, this actually makes more sense to me. She says, she texted to say, hey, are you having fun? Having a good time? Instead of good, low on power source, I think he meant to put in there good, lots, as in lots of fun. That makes more sense to me than
that does make sense.
Otto said, I think he meant to say he was lost. So they're going to have to figure that out because obviously there was no communication after that. Now, his parents spoke out about the text as well. And I have not watched this whole thing. I'm going to watch it with you guys. And I'm just going to pray to baby Jesus. Jennifer Coffindaffer does not pop up in this video because I would hate to do Idiot of the Week again. She wins it hands down all the time.
Yesterday, the Nashville police held a special briefing for Riley's family. They were able to look over evidence and ask the police officers questions. Riley's parents join me live now. His mom and stepfather, Michelle and Chris Whited, and his father, Ryan Gilbert. Thank you to all three of you for taking the time tonight to speak with me. And may I just say, I am so sorry for what you are all going through. I can't imagine the stress that you're under and how traumatizing this must be. So let's get right to it. Let's help to drill down what we know and get the public working hard. So Michelle, you met with the police yesterday. Were they able to share anything with you that was at least satisfying, anything that you're able to share with us or not able to share with us?
No, they just let us know where they are in the investigation and the videos that everybody has seen.
So what the media knows and what the public knows is the same as what you know, right?
Just a little bit. They, just so you know, we requested the meeting Friday afternoon late that we get to see the video footage. We had not seen anything or really heard from them too much throughout the previous week. So we were getting frustrated. We wanted to see what they had. So it's not like this was one of those deals. It came up after we called them to tell them that the TikTokers had found the debit card because they didn't know that it had been found. Supposedly, they didn't know that the call had came in. We arrived before the police.
So I'll tell you what, I understand the sensitivity that you all are under. You do not want to criticize the police because right now they are your lifeline to continue.
And that's always a bad look when the people that can help you get criticized publicly. Jules, I'm going to spank you worse than Ronnie could. Hang on, I got to answer this real quick. Someone asked where he's from, Springfield, Missouri. Tennessee Royalty said, I've been to Nashville multiple times. Someone needs to investigate the homeless cult that dwell there. They are saying that the homeless community in Nashville is almost as bad as Portland, Oregon. But I haven't been there in a couple of years. I don't go to that area. Now, another thing I want to ask for those of us that have sons, if he's texting back with a girlfriend, a new relationship, would he admit to being kicked out of a bar and lost? Or is he trying to act cool, good, lots of fun? What do you think, Insanely Confused?
Acting cool, trying to say that good, lots of fun, good, lots, he would probably be embarrassed to say that he got put out of a bar. I don't know that my 22-year-old, if he was 22 at the time, if he ever got kicked out of something, I don't think he wouldn't tell his parent. I don't know if he would ever tell. It would be different if his buddies were with him, then he could say, yeah, man, we all got kicked out of there. We raised so much hell, we got kicked out of there. That would be one type. But with him being the only one that got kicked out, I don't know that he would tell his little girlfriend.
No, I don't think he would tell her he's lost because guess what? Being the girlfriend, being a girl.
Oh, you said being lost. No, I don't see him telling, because he probably wanted to think that, he's a mature, big old, guy that can find his way around a big city,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, just knowing, the mindset of, boys, especially that age, new relationship. We know men don't ask directions. We know that.
And he had that liquid courage in him. So, Yeah, I don't see him telling her that he was lost.
And again, we don't know why he was asked to leave, Luke's bar. We don't know. And it wasn't a bouncer a bouncer told him to leave. But see, there's a lot of misinformation there. It was the security team that monitors stuff on their cameras.
Exactly. That's where I'm confused.
They radioed someone and said, against our conduct standards, whatever they want to call it, hang on, let me find it, they wanted him to leave. He did not have to leave through the back door, as it was said. And I want to know who put that out there. If it's just somebody on Facebook, I don't care. But if it's one of the friends, that's going to be
Yeah, he left through the Broadway exit. That's the front of the building.
Yep. At 9:35 p.m., our security team made a decision based on our conduct standards to escort him from the venue through our Broadway exit at the front of the building. And what I was saying about him, I'm just trying to make sense of the text to the girlfriend. We know men don't ask for directions. Okay, they don't. You should see my husband putting stuff together. I'm like, well, here's the directions. I even try to read him the safety precautions first, and he'll go, it's a lamp. I can put it together. So he's not going to tell his girlfriend he's lost. It makes more sense to me. He's saying, good, lots of fun.
Well, and I could understand them escorting him out if he was in that bad, if he was violating their codes or their security. Because, like I said, the first 2 floors is family friendly. You go in, you can order, and as far as the tab, you don't run a tab at Luke's. You pay when you order. You don't. You go up to the bar, you pay, or if you're sitting at a table on the first 2 floors. It's kind of like any other restaurant. You order, they bring your food, your drink, and then they'll bring you your ticket and put it on your table, just like a Ruby Tuesdays, Old Charlie's drink. But when you go on the 3rd floor up on the rooftop, no, you pay when you order, and they have to bring.
Bar. I mean, you want a bucket of beer, you want whatever it is, and some people said, why on earth would they ring up water? They do it at Alan Jackson's bar too. They do it at Old Red's. They'll say, all right, even if they just bring you the water, because some of those places complimentary bring you water, like they do at restaurants. You sit down and they immediately bring you water. They will actually bring it. You're not paying for it, but it's on the tab.
Right, correct.
And here's a picture of Luke's. It would be very easy for the group to get separated. And we honestly don't know. Chris was on the show yesterday. He said they know why he was asked to leave, but he didn't want to say. And I mean, I get it. It just might be something that they don't want to talk about.
It might just be an embarrassment. He might have been just acting like a intoxicated 22-year-old would. But if he was in that big of a, doing that bad, they wouldn't have let him go out the front. They would have escorted him out the back staircase and down, because he would have had to have walked through. If he was on the 3rd floor, he would have had to come down 2 sets of stairs and walk through the main establishment where other people were whining and dining to go out that door right there. That's what I'm saying. If he was in that bad of, if he was doing that bad, they would have escorted him out discreetly. They wouldn't have brought him through the main level to do that.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that. That makes so much more sense to me, because like you said, floor 1 and 2, it's a family establishment. People are there, they're eating, they're getting their chili fries. Kids might even have crayons, who knows? And so if he was that bad off, they wouldn't have escorted him through where the families were sitting.
Right. Exactly. The first 2 floors, kids can be in there up until I believe it's 8:30, and then you have to be 21 to enter. But you can't go on the 3rd floor unless you're 21 and over at all times. So that's what confused me, because I was like, well, if he was on the 3rd floor and he was doing whatever they didn't agree with doing, They would have asked, because there's a back to that building. You know, it's like I said, there's 2 or 3 ways to get outside. They wouldn't have brought him down 2 flights of stairs and out the main Broadway exit in front of all the people.
No, and
They would
also
have just,
they didn't say he was too intoxicated to be there, which I don't think they would take that liability anyway. Because let's face it, if you show up and you're already drunk and they serve you on top of that, they could be in they could be in trouble.
exactly.
I don't think that Luke's bar is lying, because if it does come to a lawsuit upon discovery from attorneys, they're going to get caught real quick. Other people have seen this.
I just think somebody put something in his, because they're not responsible. I'm not saying my son's not responsible. I used to preach to my kids all the time. You don't leave your drink sitting on a table and go to the bathroom. Of course, guys don't go to the bathroom like girls. If you and I are out and we're somewhere like Luke's or whatever, and you get up to go to the bathroom, first of all, I'm going to finish my drink before I go, or it's going to the bathroom with us. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. You don't come back and drink your drink. There's just too many people, and everybody is not good human beings. That's sad, but they're just not. If he was already intoxicated when he got there, I don't believe because they are watched. There's so much security there, and them waitresses and servers, they're under the microscope for that simple reason. I don't believe they would have served him. Unless he drank 2 waters, and then they figured unless they asked him to drink, you need some water or whatever first, then they gave him a beer, or whatever. I don't think it specifies of what he had to drink, but still, he had to. I don't know. Other than somebody putting something in it, within. Does anybody have any indication of what time they arrived at Luke's?
No, just that he was told to leave at 9:35. I've heard they got there at 8:45, and then I've heard 9 o'clock. Now, to some people, 15 minutes is not a big deal, but to me, it is. And if you're going somewhere just to get snockered, you're going to have more than 2 cups of water and a Coors Light, whatever he drank, before getting kicked out.
Exactly. And you're not going to get it that intoxicated off of 1 beer.
Oh, I think there was a pregame. There was a pre-party at the hotel.
Probably.
For all of them.
Doing this investigation to finding Riley. On the other hand, I can't. And I am steaming mad that I interviewed a woman who works with the homeless, who says she could have sworn she saw that shirt on a homeless man who was acting in an unusual way, had an unusual behavior, and that he had a bike, which is not normal, didn't ask for food, which is not normal, and that the shirt was perfectly clean underneath his dirty hoodie. And she has not been questioned, even as of today when we checked back with her. So, Chris, I'll just ask you if you were able to talk to the police about this, if they mentioned anything about it, if they've discounted it in any way, and why.
They have not mentioned that to us at all. We are aware of that. We've heard the same comment. We've also heard multiple people that have tried to call Crime Stoppers and leave tips and been told they don't know anything about a Riley Strain case. So lots of confusion. We're struggling. We're 10 days in, it's
yeah. I can imagine. And I'll tell you what, like I said, I can criticize the police. I agree that you guys just have to keep your heads up and work with them. But Ryan, I will also say this, to have TikTokers who volunteered to look for Riley, find that bank card in what looked like a homeless mess of discarded clothing and junk on the riverbed, made me really angry, because I feel like it was right in the vicinity where Riley's phone pinged, and that there should have been a grid search done. This was found days and days after perhaps it should have been. Ryan, are they saying anything about that card and about the fact that it was TikTokers, not the police, that found it?
No, there hadn't necessarily been anything said about that.
one would assume that since it was found in the vicinity of his last known whereabouts, that should have been canvassed pretty good. I think it just shines light on the B- job that the police force may be doing. And
Well, he said it, B- job. Again, because they don't take it seriously when a man goes missing. Sorry, we've seen it before. Look at Mark Fullerton. They're like, it's okay for him to be missing. They'll say that. He might have moved off. A fatal paper cut said, and this is true, ABC News reported this. The mom said, do not think for a minute I'm picking on mom because mom breaks my heart. I mean, they all do, but mom in a different way. He was excited because he was out sending me pictures at the different bars they were going to, and he was having fun with his fraternity brothers. She did say that. Now, that was according to ABC News, unless they totally got that wrong.
So they did go to different bars?
Yeah, but we're still waiting to hear where they went. What all bars are around Luke?
Oh, gosh.
Because Luke's wasn't there the time I went. I always go to Alan Jackson.
Oh, gosh. You've got Johnny Cash's Museum. There's a bar up top of there. You've got Miranda Lambert's new restaurant and bar. Now, most of these places serve food. They consider themselves family friendly up until a certain hour. You've got, what else is down there? You've got several pizza pizza places that sells beer. There's probably 15 to 25 bars just establishments that you could go in and get a drink. Just within minutes. I mean, like back to back to back to back. But that don't mean that they went down Broadway. I mean, you can get a drink plumb on up from 3rd Avenue, 4th Avenue, 5th, within blocks. You can turn a corner on every block and get you a drink if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
But I was trying to pinpoint from their motel what direction of travel they would have taken to the bars. Because they were staying, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that motel's name on here.
The Tempo by Hilton. So
the Tempo.
Luke's 32 Bridge, Siding 2, Siding 3, and final phone ping. And then you can see from the map, that's where the card was found.
So you've got at least 12 to 15 between the Temple Hotel till you get to Luke's. And then all down Broadway, North Broadway, East, Southwest, any way you want to look. Because I think Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood has just opened up an establishment. I don't know, it may not be open yet. They've got a bar down there. Cody, whatever that new country music, he's got a bar down there. You've got, like I said, there's all kinds of establishments up and down through there for you to get a drink.
Okay, because Garth Brooks' bar is at 411 Broadway in Nashville. It opens at 11 today. So I'm assuming it was open when they were there. And supposedly, Riley is a huge Garth Brooks fan. Not saying anything happened at Garth Brooks' bar. Not even saying anything happened at Luke's bar.
Right.
But there are a ton of bars around there. So if he told his mother they were having fun going to the different bars and everything, he FaceTimed her. She didn't. Let me back out. I've got something on my mic. Okay, is that better?
That is better.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on today. It's crazy. All right, so let me get back to this.
following through in detail on this. I know they're overwhelmed. It was at the location, you know.
It's maddening. It's absolutely maddening that a member of the public who just wanted to help was able to find a critical piece of evidence that had the police done a grid search in that exact same area, might very well have seen it too. For instance, they're a lot more trained at searching than, say, a TikToker. But Michelle, it came to our attention today that Riley had been on the phone with, I think, either a girlfriend or somebody he had maybe started seeing. I'm not sure. Maybe you can characterize the relationship. And I think she asked him that night, "Are you having fun?" And the only text that she got back said something like, "Good lops," LOPS. And she couldn't understand what that meant. Can you shed some light on that communication, when it happened, what the circumstances were, and what happened afterwards?
I'm not able to, I don't know the communication that happened between him and her. I'm not sure which, he's got several friends that are female, male. I mean, I don't know who that individual was that he talked to at that time.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find
I'm not able to, I don't know the communication that happened between him and her. I'm not sure which, he's got several friends that are female, male. I mean, I don't know who that individual was that he talked to.
Well, was it a female or a male? I know some people will say it doesn't matter, but it does to me. Was it a girl or a boy that he was texting? She said he has several friends, male and female. She doesn't know. Now, it was also said that it's a new relationship, a girlfriend. I don't know. What do you think, Insanely Confused?
I don't really think that it matters whether it was a female or a male, unless he was planning on. I mean, they wasn't there, and well, unless they were there. If he was texting somebody but apparently it seems like it was somebody back home that just wanted to know if he was having a good time. The way I'm taking it, is that the way you're taking it?
Well, it is, but there's the confusion. Is it a girl or a boy? We hear he had a new girlfriend, and we've heard some rumors that he might be gay. Doesn't matter to me. I could care less. And we know the difference between an Amy and an Adam on text. So if his mom is saying he has lots of friends, we don't know who this person is. Let's listen to how she says it again. And in no way, shape, or form am I talking about mom.
And what happened afterwards?
I'm not able to, I don't know the communication that happened between him and her. I'm not sure which, he's got several friends that are female, male. I mean, I don't know who that individual was that he talked to at that time.
She said it was a her.
Well, she said it could be male or female. She said she doesn't know.
Yeah, he's got friends, male and female. Okay, yeah. Huh.
And she's going to be protective of her son. She should.
Well, the police would know who that. I mean, if they ever get the phone data, the phone information back, they'll be able to tell, who that contact was. And if it was somebody that was there with them, that maybe had stayed back at the hotel, because do we know how many individual students that it was that came to Nashville?
Again, we have conflicting reports about that. Like I said, it's like Kylie Rodney 2.0.
Oh, good grief.
It could be 5, it could be 8, it could be the whole fraternity.
that number is important to me for the simple fact that some of them could have stayed back at the hotel, some of them could have been at another bar, another establishment, and he was trying to get to where they're at. And it just, to me, it just seems odd that none of those individuals that were with him has came forward and said anything that we know of. Maybe they've not just come publicly. I think I did read somewhere that the parents have advised them not to go publicly, not to speak on social media.
As they should. We don't need to hear from everybody that traveled with him. We certainly don't need to know the last person that texted him that he replied to. This person is not a suspect. And we know how social media is. They will tear that person up.
Oh yeah, they'll go after that person and their family, and they'll dig them up to where, they don't need to do that. But what I'm saying is, I wonder, has any of the fraternity brothers called and spoken with the mother and father and gave them their accountability? But of course, if they was intoxicated as he was, and how did they get home that night? Is there? Because they didn't report him missing until what, like 1:30 the next day?
1:46 p.m. the next day. And they are the ones that called the family to tell them they couldn't find him. He's missing. But somehow misinformation got spread to them, because when I spoke to Chris on Friday, he said the buddies had to stay behind to pay the tab. Well, we know now there was no tab. It's pay as you go. That he was escorted out of the back of the bar. We know now he was not. It was from the front. So I don't understand the miscommunication unless they were so out of it, they don't remember either.
Well, and then you've got the one friend that walked him to the door. Why would the friend walk him to the door if the security guard was with him? Because if the friends were in that type of situation, the same as him, all of them would have been made to leave. Had they known that all the parties were together. And I don't see a group of guys mingling together. I figured they were mingling about, yeah, I could see where misinformation got, there. Poor parents. My goodness, I cannot even imagine being in their shoes right now.
Oh, I can't either. And there's a 911 call. I mean, they definitely called. Now, I don't think it's that unusual after a night of partying, thinking that maybe he hooked up with a girl, he went somewhere else, that, they didn't really think anything of it until they woke up. This isn't a Dylan and Bethany situation where something happened within feet of them and they just went back to sleep. They tried to get him via Snapchat. I'm sure they tried to call him. I'm sure they tried to text him. The bar closes at 3:30 is what I read. So I'm sure they closed down the bars, crashed at the hotel, and when they woke up, they realized he's not here and he's not answering.
Oh yeah. And that they were probably all hung over. I mean, they didn't get home till what, 3, 4, probably did, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and slept all day. That's not unusual for that age group. It wouldn't be unusual for me if I had a night out drinking and partying as old as I am.
No. A night like that would kill me. I'd be in bed for a week. I'm going to put my email in here.
I was trying to see what bars stayed open downtown. I think most of them probably close at 3:30 or 4 o'clock because most of them don't open up till like 10:30 or 11 the next day to see if they could have hit any other bars. It would be interesting to see what other establishments he hit either before or after. Because maybe Luke's wasn't the last location that he entered, because if you go down Gay Street and if you keep going down James Robertson, there's bars up and down that way. Again, though, he would be on footage.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know what was going through. I mean, I don't know who he was rooming with. I mean, I don't think that all 8 of them, or 10 or whatever, were in one room together. Someone, when they got back to their room, realized he's not there, or did he have his own room? That we don't know. You know, these are questions that I've been asking, and I'm having a problem getting answers to.
And it's just sad that I know they're doing what they can, but this credit card, that debit card being found after so many people had searched that area, either makes me think that it was put there after the initial 2 or 3 searches had been done of that area by somebody. Like I said, they've already scared off the homeless. Individuals have went, they've, probably threatened the homeless and started poking around in the homeless. And over in that area, it's spooky people. I mean, they're not like, they're humans. God created them same as he, if you believe in God, he created them same as he did you and me. But they don't want to be bothered. The last thing they want is anybody coming and questioning them about anything. And I didn't know about the search warrant for the guy's tent, but it's not funny, but it is funny.
Oh, I died laughing. It took me about an hour to quit cackling over that. Poco said his Apple Watch and iPhone stopped around 2,200 hours. And that is suspicious in itself, because let's just say, hypothetically, they came across the wrong homeless dude, okay? I'm not using the politically correct terms. I understand that. There's only one party in America that is more dangerous than the ones we're talking about all the time, and that is the politically correct crowd. Homeless. They don't have shingles over their head, period. Anyway, came across the wrong homeless. Homeless or not, they're going to know how to stop whatever they took. Because the license to stop at the same time tells me a lot.
Now, what time is that? I don't know military time. What time is that? If I pull it up on my phone, I'll lose you.
10 o'clock.
At night?
Yes.
Okay. So 15 minutes after he come in contact with what, the police officer?
Yes.
That's suspicious. I'm like, that's that yeah. So 15 minutes. Well, it would have been about from Gay Street to First Avenue is about I'd say it's probably about an 8-9 minute walk. With him stumbling around, or like I said, he may have sobered up when he came in contact with that officer. So within 10 minutes of him reaching the riverside is when his phone and watch stopped. If he actually was ever at there, just because his phone or whatever pinged doesn't mean he was actually at that location. That just means that he pinged off of that nearest tower.
AG said 10 minutes from the body cam to missing. And you're exactly right. Sometimes people make a little too much out of these cell phone towers. Where mine pings from, you would think I live in the heart of Tulsa, and I don't. That's just where it hits from.
Right. So 10 minutes from body cam. So that's about how long it took him to walk there, because if I'm on Gay Street, right where he was last seen, and I take a right and I go up, go across the bridge and go down. Yeah, of course, I'm not a fast walker, but it takes about 9 to 10, maybe 11 minutes, depending. And then you got to go up a hill through like some wooded area. You're now off the highway. You're off the sidewalk. You're off the road. You got to go up a hill, cross some railroad tracks, down an embankment, through some brushy area, cross. If you didn't cross the railroad tracks, you had to cross the railroad tracks, and then through a fence. So you know, and I don't believe for one second that he knew where he was going. But that's not the only place that the homeless are at. There's homeless that sit on the bus stop seats, acting like they're waiting for a Greyhound to stop by. So did he come in contact with somebody, a not so good homeless person, and that homeless person take him up through there? I don't know.
I don't know either. We went through this with Kylie Rodney asking about, does the iPhone stop when it's underwater? Some people said, no, I can put mine in water and it takes a licking, it keeps on ticking. Well, we found from that case, because they retrieved her phone, when it went in the water, it shut off. So let's say he fell in the water at 10 p.m. and there is no foul play. That's why the communication stopped. And I agree with Chaos and Roses. Doesn't matter what his orientation is. He's missing. That's what matters. I don't care if he dressed as a mermaid to go bar hopping. I don't care. But his parents are in horrible, horrible pain right now. And they want to find their son.
Exactly. I mean, I would, my son's in Texas. Like I said, he'll be 26 this year. And I worry about him. And I tell him, all the time, let us know where you're at. It's not like, you're 12 hours away. I can't just hop a plane anytime and get to you. It's not like when you was up here in Nashville and, I could get to you. For them to not even it'd be one thing for you to go missing in your own state, but to go missing in another state that you're not familiar with, that your son's not familiar with, and you can't evidently get any answers except for the individuals on social media. And this is the good thing about social media, and I'm really proud of all of these individuals that's actually covering this case and Sebastian's case, and keeping it front and center, because if it don't stay on social media, if it don't stay on our local news channels, it's going to go away. And they may never get answers.
You have to. It's like they say when you go to the doctor, you go to the hospital, you have to be your own healthcare advocate. The same with if you need answers from police. Totally different cases, totally different situations. But I think about that with the case of Michael Vaughn. His parents have stayed right on law enforcement. Not that law enforcement was being lazy or anything, but they're probably at the station every day. The minute that the parents, step-parents, co-parenters, whatever you want to call them, horrible situation that they are in, heard that he's missing, they weren't sitting there dicking around with a GoFundMe trying to dig up sky miles. They jumped in the car, drove the 7 hours, and they're still there. Kat, love you. Thank you for the super sticker. I got a lot of spankings to give out today.
Exactly. And as it should be, as I would, God forbid something happened to my son in Texas, I'm going to hop on a plane, or if my husband wanted to drive the 12 hours, we would do that. We would get there as fast and I would be sitting at that police station, whatever police station it was. I would want answers. I just hope that there's more. I don't want it to be foul play or nothing, but I hope that there's more video cameras. I hope that maybe there might be a witness. Surely the police have questioned the other parties that were with him. Do we know if they've allowed them to go back home? It's been 10 days. I imagine they needed to get on back to school since they were in college.
Oh, I imagine they've gone back home. I know the family is still there, and they're still working with detectives and everything like that. They're not going to leave until they find their son. That's all there is to it. It reminds me a lot of when Natalie Holloway was murdered I'm not saying that Riley was. On her spring break vacation to Aruba, hell, her parents practically moved down there. They're like, we're not leaving until we find our daughter. Now, we know how long that took, but there was definitely some corruption and foul play going on there. I just hope they get the answers they need sooner than later, because it's got to be painstaking. And, you know, like Insanely Confused was saying, you know, she tells her son in Texas, let me know, let me know, let me know, let me know. My children do not follow those rules. I can say, when you get to your ski trip, let me know you made it. Let me know. I see shit on Instagram 3 days later, having a great time, hitting the slopes. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I told your little ass to tell me when you got there.
Oh yeah. Well, I get a text. Nobody knows how to pick up a phone anymore. You know, I'll get a text, and I told both of my kids. One of my daughters my daughter, she lives about 7 minutes from me, but even so, I tell her, you know, pick up the phone and call me. There's too much going on in the world for me not to hear your voice. Do you know how many cases I follow where somebody has stolen somebody's phone and pretended to be them? We have Gabby Petito, you know, when Brian Laundrie text off of her phone. You know, I want to hear your voice. It's okay to text every now and then, but let me hear your voice. Let me know that it's you. As grown adults, they don't get that part.
No, drives me
Okay,
nuts.
my boss is calling me, so I have got to get off here. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it. And I will see you in the bottom text tomorrow.
All right,
Chat.
thank you for coming up.
All right, you have.
Big round of applause to our friend Insanely Confused. I'm sorry for the microphone issues. Seems like we were echoing off of each other, so I kind of learned the hard way. Thank you for the reminders. I would mute myself when she was talking, mute her when I was talking, and it was a great show. She gave us a lot of insight, and I want to make this so clear, so clear, so clear. Whether he is gay or not, I personally don't think he is. Either way, doesn't matter. He is missing, and something is going on. I'm not ready to say it's foul play, just even in my opinion, but something's up. The fact that his devices went off at 10 p.m. and his credit card was found on the bank and wiped clean scares the hell out of me. And I know a lot of people are on spring break this week. You know, as independent as you raise your children, it doesn't mean that they are going to adhere to your advice. That's the truth. That is the truth. I do not believe his frat brothers should have left him alone. I think somebody should have taken the bullet, not in that way, and made sure he got to the hotel okay, and then gone back out and partied. Nunya Biz says, how do you know his debit card was wiped clean? Because a family friend was saying it on News Nation last night. I'm not the investigator. I just go with what they say. If he was low on power, and that's what LOPS means, or it could mean good lots, or he could have been telling the girl, the guy, whoever he was texting, good, lots of fun, or good, low on power, I'll get with you later. I don't know. I don't know. No idea. Well, This has been a great show, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being in here. I'm going to try to figure out what the issue was with the microphones and everything. I know it had to have been frustrating, but as always, it's a live show, and you never know what's going to happen. At least OJ didn't mess anything up today. He messed plenty up yesterday. He's back on his bacon kick. You can see this right here. I was frying bacon for dinner last night. He jumped right up on the counter. He eats his bacon. Then he goes over to the fountain that Lisa got for me, and he drinks out of it. Talk about spoiled. Talk about spoiled. All right, if I don't see you in Discord, one of the Facebook groups, what have you, talk to you on email, text, whatever, then I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mod Squad, stellar job as always. And to all of you, woo, I say it every day, I mean it every day, you are truly the best chat and best community on the filthy streets. Love you.